going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Forbidden Land podcast. This is the Friday episode. And if I'm a little quiet, I'm sorry. I have been dealing with allergies all morning. I have taken the strongest allergy medication I own. And all it has done is just make me hungry and tired. It did not get rid of my allergies. And if it lasts longer than this, then that means I'm sick. Yay. It is getting colder outside. I guess it's about time I get the Black Plague, as I do every year around this time. But yeah, so here's a little treat. 1 trillion beers, please. So that was the first thing on my doc, just cause lighten the mood after the last couple episodes I've done. See how like ghostly white I look? Dude, I've been sneezing all morning. There's the nostril that's like bothering me has nothing in it. I have eliminated everything that was in it, and then it just keeps producing more. And I keep sneezing, and I'm like, I just want to finish my coffee. I just want to drink my water. I just want to record my podcast. And my immune system went, no. So, one of the first things I want to talk about. So originally this was going to be a bonus episode, and then I went, I haven't recorded an episode for this week. So, I wanted to talk about a few things. The Linkin Park has a new singer now. I didn't know this. And I love Linkin Park. I was devastated in 2017 when Chester died. And I don't even know her name. Like, I didn't even write down what her name is. And is it Emily Armstrong? Is that who it is? Yeah, it is. It's Emily Armstrong. From what I've heard, she's on record being a Danny Masterson supporter. I mean, it says it right here in her article that she's a Scientologist, that she's defended Danny Masterson. Look, man, if you're gonna defend a convicted rapist, it's just such a bad look. It tarnishes the legacy of Linkin Park in a really sad way. And that's not me being like, wait, oh my god. Linkin Park should have never gotten a new lead vocalist. Like, yeah, I've always been under the opinion that Mike could handle it himself, or they could just stop making new music under that band name. And because in my opinion, the band kind of ended once Chester Bennington died. But I don't know if they needed to bring on a Scientologist who's defended a convicted rapist into the fold. I feel like it just kind of stains the band. I haven't heard any music with her on it. I haven't gone out and listened to it. All it made me do was want to go back and listen to my favorite Linkin Park songs. That's all it made me want to do. But I haven't really heard. Even if she is a good singer, I like I said, I haven't heard any of her stuff yet. If she is a good singer, like, fine, but I would have been open to this idea of a new singer. It's the fact of just who she is. Like, dude, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis got wiped off the planet after it came out that they defended Danny Masterson in a letter to the judge. And like that 90s show that they're making on Netflix, I'm pretty sure they're not in it at all now. In the whatever second season they're making, if they haven't already released it. But yeah, I don't know. Go listen to Linkin Park's old stuff. You know, listen to some good shit. Listen to some of the stuff that Mike Shinoda has been putting out. You know, everything up until the latest release and the album that's coming out. Listen to that stuff. That stuff bangs. Here's a hidden gem. Lost in the Echo by Linkin Park. That song bangs. I know that album's controversial because it takes a more electronic approach. That's one of my favorite albums of theirs because that was the album that I was introduced to them through. I love that album. I love why am I blanking? I didn't even say the name of the album that I like. I think the album that I like is called Living Things. I like that album. Let me just look at their discography. Albums. I like Living Things. I like 1,000 Suns. And I like some songs off Meteora. And I like a few off of Minutes to Midnight, but my favorites are probably 1,000 Suns and Living Things. Sue me. But yeah. Even one of the last songs they made with him, One More Light, even that song was pretty decent. I liked it. But like I said, I don't like the fact that the new singer is a Scientologist, so the new album comes out in 2 months. I've never seen an album have that long of a build up. What the fuck? Why are they advertising it this far in? Or this far away? Oh my god. Moving on. Tim Pool. I feel like that just made me even more sick. Tim Pool has been allegedly exposed for allegedly being a Russian asset. The Department of Justice indicted some Russia Today employees. I think that's what RT stands for. They indicted a few of the employees, and apparently they've been paying Tenet Media affiliates, allegedly. It's the only Tennessee-based major media company where the people that work for it match up that closely to the numbers described in the indictment. Tim Pool is one of them. Tim Pool's not the only one, obviously. Apparently Dave Rubin and Benny Johnson are included in that. Pretty much all of Tenet Media, it seems, is included, but yeah, Tim Pool's been being allegedly paid by the Russians to spread Russian propaganda. Do we have that clip of... I'm saying that like there's a producer. Do we have the clip of him being like, in Ukraine is the real enemy, and he like punches the desk? Tim Pool, Ukraine clip. Come on, give me what I'm looking for.
But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine.
I don't know how. I really don't know how a country being invaded by an occupying force, a sovereign nation being invaded by an imperial force. I don't know how that is... I don't know how that makes Ukraine our biggest enemy. I would argue that Israel is our biggest enemy in the sense that they drain our tax dollars to eviscerate Arab communities, and that they significantly threaten our imperial status in the world. This is stuff I don't really care about. This is stuff that like war hawks care about. The neoliberals that, you know, the neoliberals that care about our social standing in the world of being this imperial superpower that has global reach and control over these other nations. Israel directly threatens that relationship that we have. You know, if they just continue to, you know, fuck us with a stick at every turn and not take us seriously, what does that say to other countries that we've asserted some kind of unspoken control over? You know, those countries will then start to go, well, shit, if it's that easy, you know, let's go ahead and start fucking with the U.S. too. And that kind of diminishes the reputation that the U.S. has in the world. Ukraine, on the other hand, all we do is just send them weapons to fight off Russia. The only thing we're risking there is a war with Russia, but it already seems that like Russia's already struggling to take this country. From all the numbers we've seen over the past couple of years, and from those leaked documents that dude leaked in his Discord for all his kittens to see, it seems that Russia is struggling more proportionally to Ukraine. You know, so a war with the U.S. is probably not something Russia wants. But yeah, sure. Go ahead, Tim.
They are expanding this war. Now, don't get me wrong. I know you've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do. Ukraine is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, triggering this conflict. Ukraine is the greatest threat to this nation and to the world.
You can also see him periodically reading from a script on his desk, which is not something you normally see him do. Usually he's riffing off the cuff, which is why he's saying horseshit most of the time and not speaking coherent thoughts on his show. But like also at the same time, Ukraine blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, whilst not the greatest idea, which it seems more than likely that the U.S. is actually the one that blew up the pipeline from what I've read. It's still, you know, a defensive move against Russia. And he says that the Nord Stream pipeline being blown up, yeah, the reason why it's not much of a problem is because they are the country being invaded. If Russia blew up the pipeline, then that would just be another, you know, civilian structure. It'll just be more civilian infrastructure that Russia has attacked. But Ukraine destroying civilian infrastructure, in a way, can be seen as a defensive move by a country being invaded, which is why the international community doesn't really take much issue with it. But also, that's not the thing that triggered the war. The war was already going by the time that they blew up the pipeline. The war had been raging on by the time that they blew up the pipeline. So, he's just wrong. Even reading from a script, he's still just wrong. Like, and you can tell they're really scraping the barrel. I guess when you're lying to your audience as heavily as he is, you can get away with saying shit like that won't make people go, wait a minute, the timeline doesn't really match up there. It doesn't have to when you're already lying to them.
We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military support, and we should apologize to Russia.
The last bit is so funny to me, that we should apologize to Russia. Sorry, Russia, you keep invading that country. Yeah, and you know, that wouldn't be too out of line with basically what the U.S. does to Israel, where we go, oh, sorry, Israel, we didn't mean to bother you. You keep doing your genocide. Like, that would be on the same level. But, you know, I just find that idea that we should be apologizing to Russia for us blowing up the pipeline. It's just so funny. And also the you know, the whole like, oh, we should rescind all funding and blah 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 blah. Like, whatever, dude. You know. Another funny thing is like he was earning so much fucking money from the Russian media group, and like, oh yeah, here's a lot of his tweets as well. If you want to read these while I'm talking about this, and I'll read a few as well that I find funny. But it's also funny that like he was accepting all this money, and then he goes on to say like, oh well, I didn't know that the Russians were the ones giving me the funding. And it's like, are you really that dumb that you didn't know the people giving you Russian propaganda to speak about on your show were the Russians? And like there's evidence to show that they knew it was Russia, because sorry, I'm getting winded because of my nose being stuffed now. But there's evidence to show that they knew it was Russia based on the DOJ's like inquiry into the like search histories and like having like where the people giving them the money were looking up like or the people receiving the money were looking up stuff like what time is it in Moscow. And then at one point they go, we're going to do a meeting at a virtual meeting at 5:30 Moscow time. And, or no, they were like 5:30 our time or something, or Paris time. That's what it was. 5:30 Paris time for some reason. And then there's a Google search from the person giving the money that just says, what time is it in Paris? Because he showed up to the meeting at like 5 o'clock Moscow time. And then he had to look up what time it was in Paris. And so like that all lines up to, you know, it's the Russians, man. Like we have all this evidence to show that the Russian government, or at least Russian sponsored media, was paying off conservative commentators to spew bullshit about the Russian invasion of Ukraine. I just find it so odd that that like this has come out and people are still defending these people. I mean, I don't know how Tim Pool will still have an audience after something like this. But you know there will still be people being like, and that's just the sound of them blowing his dick, doing tricks on it. Swirlies doing 360s around it, the whole shebang, you know, riding that meat. I really don't know how they're gonna spin it. American Civil War II, pedophiles versus Nazis is an interesting tweet. This is just like him being obsessed with Civil War. So I won't be surprised if it comes out that, you know, he's being paid by other outlets. We've been wondering for a while who funds Timcast because his viewership isn't that big. And the money doesn't really line up. So I guess this explains it. Speaking of shit happening this week, last week, what a transition. Last week, I made an impromptu episode talking about gun reform because a school shooting happened in a county in my home state, and it's just a long line. It's in a long line of school shootings where, you know, they happen. We talk about what could have been done to prevent them. The right goes, yeah, but like, what if I want to go shoot and kill a deer in my backyard and you're trying to stop me from doing that? And a slave owner from 400 years ago said, or from 300 years ago said that, well, I should be able to own a high-powered minigun. You know, it's just this like mental gymnastics wrapping their way around a fucking talking point of like, well, I'm afraid that y'all are going to take away my rifle because I have insert list of domestic violence charges on my record. Thus, I won't be able to own a firearm to scare my ex-wife. And I talked about gun reform laws that could be used to, prevent more school shootings from that. Like, the argument is always, oh, well, it won't stop all of them. And it's like, yeah, but it'll stop them from happening as frequently. Like, you don't make things illegal thinking the problem will just go away forever. They're still going to happen, but they're decentivized from happening because the punishment is jail time, or the outcome is the crime was prevented in the first place. Robbery's illegal, but there's still robberies. That doesn't mean you just make robbing places legal, because then everybody would do it. There's no consequence at that point. But if you make background checks mandatory everywhere, extensive background checks, then you can stop a lot of crazy people from getting their hands on guns. Mental health evaluations for everyone in the household, for the household that wants to own the gun, would prevent a lot of these things from happening. And the reason I say this is because now the father of the kid that shot up the school has been arrested. The reason why? Because he bought the kid a rifle not too long before this shooting. The FBI visited the family's home a year and a half ago, almost. And it was known by the FBI that, and the family knew that this kid had made terroristic threats online about shooting up a school. They were very aware of this fact. And the father still bought the kid an AR-15. If there was a background check, it probably would have prevented something like this if there was an extensive background check. And that's what I'm saying. 4 people could have possibly been alive right now that are currently and forever dead now if there had been a background check done, an extensive one. And I am glad they arrested the dad. That's so irresponsible. And I think they're going to arrest the mom if they haven't already. I haven't read that part, but I'm glad that they're charging the dad with something, because that's just negligence at that point. It's like that one family that set court precedent a few months ago where they knew that their kid was mentally ill and they kind of facilitated an environment to encourage the kid towards what he ended up doing. And they got charged, they got sent to prison, and they set court precedent now where if you're the parent of a child that shot up a school and you directly aided this kid's efforts to do said school shooting, then yeah, you go to jail with the kid. I see that as a win for family values, not breaking up the family. Send them all into the jail. That way they're all together. So that was my point last week in that episode when I talked about gun reform, is that stuff like this can be prevented. Anytime a Republican goes, yeah, but the problem won't go away completely. When have we ever written laws thinking that the problem will go away completely? There's always going to be people that are going to break that law. That's why the law is there. So there are consequences for those people. I remember somebody was like, somebody was trying to make that argument about oh, well, the problem won't go away completely. And it's like, yeah, well, look at Australia. I mean, they made that problem go away pretty much completely. I'm dying, y'all. I'm decomposing as we speak. Can't you see the maggots forming on my face? So So yeah, that's my thoughts on that whole situation. Just just a completely preventable tragedy that happens far too often. Oh, and but someone takes a shot at the former president. It's gross political violence, must be condemned. Someone shoots up a school. Oh, it's a senseless tragedy that, we just have no idea how to solve this problem. Thoughts and prayers. Next day, I want to fucking eat Kamala Harris alive in the election. Like, come on, man. I'm obviously referencing Mike Collins. Anyways, yeah, I'm obviously making fun of Mike Collins, who has, famously toted around his gun during campaigns and just seemingly doesn't give a single shit about his district. And, it's just such a... It's such a mess. It's such a preventable mess. But, this will happen again unless there are new laws. And when it happens again, I'll talk about it. I believe one of the first episodes of this version of the podcast was about the Nashville shooting. And I had similar thoughts then. And I have stronger thoughts now that, like I said, this is my most controversial take with friends of mine who might agree with me politically. And it's that I think there should be gun reform because I live in the South, and even the most liberal or left wing of my friends, a lot of them don't believe in gun reform, or at least the kind that I'm talking about. And I'm like, look, the Republicans make it sound scary, man. They make it sound real scary. And I got to be honest with you. I'd much rather be denied a gun because they think I'm just a little too unhinged for one than for a crazy person to get a high-powered rifle and kill a room full of students. So, wherever your morals lie, man. Yeah, because, I went to this yard sale yesterday, and there was a lesbian couple that was running this particular yard sale. It was a neighborhood-wide yard sale. There was a lesbian couple. We roll up. I look in the garage. I see the LGBT flag. I think it was one of the modified ones where there was more included on the flag. I think it's one of the more modern ones. And then there was a feminism flag. And then there was a flag talking about disability rights and all the different civil rights. And it was so funny how I was so oblivious to all of that when I walked up to the yard sale. Just walked up looking around. I look up, I go, oh, they're, supporters of the left-wing social issues. And then I look in front of me and I go, oh, these two are lesbians, obvious lesbians. And the one that was collecting all the money was had the shaved sides and was strapped with a pistol, and I was like, yo, that's sick. And then I look and she has a Kamala Harris sign in her yard, and I was like, oh, what a fun juxtaposition to the house across the street that had a Trump sign in the yard. I'm like, that's awesome that your neighbors are Trump Republicans and y'all are these hardcore gun rights liberal Democrats who are also a lesbian couple. I was like, I love this. I just thought it was hilarious that she was strapped with a pistol. That was my favorite part of the whole thing, was that she had a pistol on her. Because it really does break through the idea that liberals and leftists don't like guns. And it's no, we do. As a leftist, I'm not opposed to owning a firearm. Why wouldn't I? It's home defense at that point. I'm not going to argue I need this for home defense for an AR-15. I'm not trying to blast the guy in the head and then at the same time accidentally take out my neighbor and then take out everyone in my household. in the process. Shotgun is good enough, you know. I don't need to really aim it very well. I just point in a direction and then there goes the intruder. So, like I said, leftist in favor of owning a firearm responsibly and safely. Moving on. The Internet Archive lost its copyright case. They had a digital lending system similar to a fucking library, and and book publishers took them to court for it, and they won the first case, and then the Internet Archive appealed it, and now they've won the second case, and the Internet Archive is like, what do we do now? And I've seen people liken it to the burning of Alexandria, and honestly, I agree with that. I'm a little sad that, you know, the Internet Archive is now in jeopardy, because the Internet Archive is a very important tool. People have said it opens the door for Nintendo to pursue them because of all of the ROMs and stuff that they have on there. You know, somebody else was like, if a public library was introduced as a concept in today's age, it would be struck down by the courts almost immediately and sued into oblivion. The only reason it's not is because libraries have been around for so long that, you know, that like if publishers attempted to take down libraries now, they'd receive massive public backlash, and if anything, it would probably backfire on them, and copyright law would be permanently altered forever. But yeah, this verdict is a huge blow to copyright enjoyers and library enjoyers and fans of media. I think it's a loss for everybody. I think it's only a dub for publishers in the short term. I think it'll massively backfire in the long term. It's like how I view the Viacom versus YouTube case. How in the short term, like if they had won against YouTube, yeah, it would have been, you know, a short-term dub. No more, you know, sue YouTube into oblivion. Our copyrighted material. You can't have that on YouTube. Let's say they had won, short-term dub. Long-term, still would have gone down in flames. I don't know if y'all notice, Viacom doesn't really exist anymore. Viacom was bought out by Paramount, and now the only real thing you see from Viacom anymore is that they are mostly referred to as MTV. Which MTV is the one that hosts stuff like Comedy Central and Nickelodeon and stuff like that. Viacom as a whole does not really exist anymore. So, you know, like I said, it would have been something like publishers win. They're like, yeah, our shit's not on the thing anymore. And then eventually bookstores are just going to start disappearing. And they're like, oh, people don't want to like buy our books anymore. You know, they just want PDFs of our books. And then, yeah, there you go. So, you know, I think everybody's pretty much under the understanding that this is a bad thing. Someone compared it to OpenAI just getting free reign to gather and exploit copyrighted material all over the internet and just turn it into whatever they want. And I agree. I'm not a huge fan of OpenAI because it just steals people's work and then passes it off as like, oh yeah, use our program, you know, using stuff that we didn't make. I think one of the things that some of these AI companies use are they scrub YouTube videos. And God, I'm just waiting for a YouTuber to sue them for it, because then everybody would pile on and it would just wreck the AI industry. Why they can't just license this stuff? I don't like contact these people and ask them. That would have garnered way more respect for AI than just stealing the shit. But I think it's because they know nobody would sign on to their work being used, because eventually that would lead to them being replaced by AI. And that's another short-term thing. Another short-term thing is that, yes, AI would replace these creatives, but then eventually AI is going to run out of material. And now there's no one left. And it would just lead to their downfall. It's got a shelf life, man. It's got a shelf life. The last thing I had on my dock for this week is the Minecraft movie. First I want to play something that, you know, I think everyone can agree is something we need to hear right now. You know what I mean?
I am placing blocks and shit 'cause I'm in fucking Minecraft. I am placing blocks and shit 'cause I'm in fucking Minecraft. Oh my god.
I love that part.
Is that fucking pig? Because I'm fucking Steve. I am fucking Steve. Fuck yeah.
I think this is what we need right now.
I am building shit. I am fucking sick. Yes, indeed.
What is the context behind that? I don't know what where that came from. You know? And also I had someone edited together a video of Jack Black singing the song. Like they did like a little edit. God, where is it? I wonder if it's even still up. But is that, yeah, dude, Braylon is cool. This guy.
I am placing blocks and shit 'cause I'm in fucking Minecraft. I am placing blocks and shit 'cause I'm in fucking Minecraft. Oh my god. Is that fucking pig? Because I'm fucking Steve. I am fucking Steve. Fuck yeah.
I don't understand, why is Jack Black Steve? When they announced the cast, I thought that Jason Momoa was gonna be Steve because he looks like Steve. Steve is like a slightly darker skinned man with a goatee and brown hair, and he just wears a blue outfit. And then I wonder if they have an Alex cast in this movie. But you know, that's who I thought was gonna play Steve, and then Jack Black was announced as Steve. I was like, that's interesting. So like, is it animated? And then I found out it's live action, and that's when I was really like, how is that gonna work? And now, like, when I see Jack Black as Steve, dude, he doesn't look like Steve. You know, he just looks like Jack Black in a blue T-shirt. Like, I like Jack Black. Don't get me wrong. I've watched movies with him in them all throughout my childhood, but he doesn't look like Steve. It's like if I was cast to play Steve. Dude, I don't fucking look like Steve. You know, I don't. I've always seen Steve as what his skin looks like. Like, his Minecraft skin is just a generic looking guy with a darker skin complexion with a goatee. That's not what Jack Black looks like. And on top of that, like, he has a giant full beard, the beard that he just has in real life. His hair is all gray. His hair is also long. And he's also, like, very white. I don't know if they've changed Steve's look in recent years, but, like, I've always seen him as the original model, where he has the darker skin complexion. I didn't think Steve was white. But on top of all that, he just doesn't look like Steve. And also, my God, dude, the trailer, oh my God, it's the trope of, like, you know, real world people get transported into a video game world. Oh my God, this trope doesn't work, man. It already barely works in Sonic. Sonic is, like, just good enough where you don't really think about that part. And also, it kind of fits in with the Sonic lore to some extent, that there are humans in this world. And there's even a separate world for Sonic stuff in that universe. That's fine. Detective Pikachu, God, I loved that movie. That movie was awesome and pretty consistent with Pokemon lore. It's not like they're transported into the video game world. Pokemon are just part of that world. I love Detective Pikachu. And then, but yeah, I don't like this idea of these people being transported into the Minecraft world. Why can't it just be a Minecraft movie? People have pointed out that, like, the CGI looks like those old realistic Minecraft animations, which I have to agree. That and the blocks aren't lined up with each other. It's just like a blockish look, but it's not actually, like, you know, linear blocks parallel to each other or perpendicular to each other. It's not like that at all. It'll be like a block is here and a block is, like, there. They're not lined up or stacked. They're like they're like this. That's not what Minecraft looks like. It just doesn't look good. Like, the CGI looks questionable. And, like, I saw people saying that it looks like they're pulling more from Minecraft Legends and Dungeons because of that cube and because of the way that the piglins look. I guess that's fine since those two games have more of a story than Minecraft at the base game has. I wouldn't be surprised if they implemented stuff for Minecraft story mode. Like, imagine the Wither Storm showing up in this movie. I doubt it, but, you know, then I was like, well, then wouldn't Jason Momoa maybe be like Herobrine? But then people are already making memes about that, and I was like, damn, I guess that is kind of predictable that he might be Herobrine, but... Because that'd be awesome if they made Herobrine canon like that to Minecraft. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think this movie's going to be very good. I think it's going to flop like the Borderlands movie. Unfortunately. I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to flop. It's so sad. Yet another video game movie where they just wanted to pack the cast full of recognizable faces. Also, hold on, where's a clip from the trailer before I talk about this stupid ass tweet that I read? Shit. I want to see the shot of I don't even think I can watch the trailer on here because there's copyrighted music and Warner Brothers might eat my ass. Stampy Longnose did a reaction to it. Well, can I say, what is the point of this? Hold on.
Right this way!
It's just such a generic movie trailer. Oh my god, look at this shot. Look at how fake this looks. This is so bad. Dude, their feet aren't touching the ground. I guess it looks a little better in motion, but on like a freeze frame, it just looks like they're walking on like nothing, basically. But yeah, I hate this generic like trailer format. That'd be a cool world, Jen. If only mountains looked like that. But I hate the generic like movie trailer feel to it, you know. This is my comment. I know that she was in Suicide Squad. He's Jason Momoa. She looks familiar. I don't remember what she would have been in, but doesn't he look like Paul Rudd? Like, to the point where I was like, was this the person who played the kid version of Scott Lang in Avengers Endgame at the beginning of the movie? When they're like testing out the time travel machine and they push time through Scott. Isn't this the kid that played Scott as a child? I'd have to look that up. Because I want to know. And also, I gotta say, everyone looks out of place in this movie. I think except for this kid. This kid just... If it was just him, like, it would be like a kid entering the Minecraft world. And that might be a little easier for people to stomach, as much as I still don't like that concept. It's the fact that, like, they put a wig on Jason Momoa. So, and he already has long hair, so that's the first off-putting thing about him. If he didn't have the wig, he might fit more. But the problem is that they all just look like generic background characters. She probably would have fit if it was her and him in the movie. Just two kids exploring the Minecraft world. That probably would have worked as well. He looks out of place because of the wig. I don't know why she looks out of place to me. I think it's the outfit. I think it's because this is such an odd outfit. Let me swap the camera so you can see it. This is just a very strange outfit to me. It looks very generic, like a prop department made the outfit. I think it's also because throughout the entire trailer, she just has this constant look of just... What is she so in awe about? She just looks shocked throughout the entire trailer. It's like, yeah, they all look kind of shocked. I hate this part. But like, then even later in the trailer, she's like, whoa, what? Like, even she's doing it. I think they all kind of do it. They look concerned that there's a person in the movie or in the world. Yeah, this whole trailer is just them looking confused. This is the cube I'm talking about. They think this cube is from like Minecraft Legends or something. Let me find out if this kid is in game. But yeah, all these characters look so out of place. And I think if it was just the two kids, it might have worked. Adding in the two adults who are functionally acting like children is really off-putting. If they were more of like a parental role, which maybe they are. I don't know enough from the trailer to figure that out. But if they take on like more of a parental role to the kids, then I think that would make sense. Let me look up Minecraft movie cast. Let's look at who all these people are playing. Also, another odd thing. I want to know who wrote this movie. The actress Danielle Brooks, the one that I was saying is wearing a weird outfit. Her character's name is Dawn. And if you ever watched Sky Does Minecraft, you'll know that's an interesting name to choose. And that's all I'm going to say about that. It's a very interesting name to choose for a movie about Minecraft. She was the lead actress in a Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and she was also in Wednesday. The Emma Myers, the child girl. I don't know how to even word that sentence. Danielle Brooks is in. She's in a lot of stuff. Damn. I did know she was in Peacemaker. That's what it was, not Suicide Squad. Peacemaker. She's popping off lately. By lately, I mean like the last 5 years. Still popping off nonetheless. But what's the kid in? Okay, maybe I'm just tripping about this kid. Because he's in nothing I've ever heard of. That's kind of impressive, though, that he's the lead role. Pretty much in this movie. Who plays Scott Lang as a child in Avengers Endgame? Oh, never mind. All right. Well, he looks like Paul Rudd. Anyway, my thoughts about this movie are that it's probably going to suck. Look at the reaction to the I Am Steve clip. I actually wonder if I'll get claimed for even showing any of this, but whatever, who gives a shit?
I am Steve. Okay.
This guy is such a tool bag.
I don't even remember that part of the trailer. What the fuck? What the hell? Anyways, before we go, let me give you your fun fact of the week. I look, before I end my thoughts on the Minecraft movie, a little cut in here because I ended the episode without talking about this tweet. I wanted to talk about this tweet from someone named Connor, who screenshotted Moist Critical's video that said Minecraft movie looks bad and said, to be clear, this movie is for my 6-year-old child, not 40-year-old men. You're not the target demo anymore. First of all, 40-year-old men are not the ones saying this looks bad. If they are, it's from a film perspective. A lot of the people that say this looks bad are people who are in their 20s and 30s who were children or late teens when this game came out and when they were at the height of playing this game. I am one of those people, for instance. I'm in my early 20s now, and I was a literal child when I started playing Minecraft. And so a lot of people have responded to this guy, you know, clearly refuting that children's media can be good. A lot of the quote retweets are stuff like, stuff from the Goofy, from a Goofy movie, stuff from, God, I can't remember the name of the movie, but there's like sword fights and stuff, and it's like a PG movie where they're like killing each other in that movie. And it looks really good, and the Goofy one relates to like the difficult subject of when your kid, you have a lot of faith in your kid, and then like you find out that your kid lied to you about something, and it's heavy themes, Adventure Time, has adult themes like this. SpongeBob still holds up for an adult like me. You know, even if it is nostalgia talking, the first 3 seasons do hold a lot of adult themes and jokes that I didn't get as a kid that I get now. Adventure Time is a really good show for not only just kids but also adults. My parents loved Adventure Time and would watch it while I was watching it. Even the newer stuff like Fiona and Cake, that's adult oriented or late teenager oriented because it deals with a lot of adult themes, and it's a tad bit inappropriate for young children. Children's media can be mature and can transcend children, and be enjoyable for adults. Somebody said, what is a kid gonna... Yeah, so 6-year-olds are gonna drive themselves to the theater and sit by themselves for 2 hours. I agree with that take. Like, if the parent has to sit there for 2 hours, give them something to enjoy. That's why, like, The Incredibles is a good movie. Toy Story is a good movie. All these movies still hold up. And, just because it's for kids doesn't give it the excuse to suck shit and ass. Kids are not the ones paying for it. This person being like, like my 6-year-old thinks this shit looks fire. It's like, dude, that's what you're going to give your kid? All this shitty media that they're going to try to watch when they're older and be like, oh, this sucks. That's not something you really want to do to your child, man. So that's what I think about this tweet. And I forgot to talk about it, so there you go. Back to the normal part of the episode. I think the movie's gonna suck. The one thing I have seen that pisses me off, I hate that these fucking right-wing racist shitbags make me defend what looks like it's gonna be a shitty movie regardless. They make me defend it to some extent, because they go, look guys, there's black people in the movie. One black character in the whole movie so far that we've seen. Just one black woman on top of that. They're like, oh my God, why isn't the cast all white men, like in Klan hoods? I don't understand. What do these people want? What do you guys want? What do these Nazis want, dude? What is the end goal here? You know, one of the biggest things that took me out of that mindset in, when even was this? Like late middle school, early high school. I used to be that guy that was like, why is this unnecessary diversity cast in this movie? I used to be one of those guys. And the thing that took me out of it was one liberal going, why does it matter? And then another one going, so like, what do you want the alternative to be? And I genuinely sat here and thought about it for a moment. I was like 15 going, I didn't really think about it that way. And I haven't thought about it that way. I haven't thought that way about casting since. Because it doesn't matter. And these people going, oh my God, they casted a black woman for one of the 4 major roles in this group of kids and adults that are exploring the Minecraft world. One black woman on the cast, pretty much. One black person in general on the cast. I don't know of any other people on the cast that are people of color. Like, come on, man. Why are we doing this? It's all these disgusting Nazis. Anyway. That's all I gotta say. Stop doing that shit. Why does it matter? It's one... Dude, it's also just one character. The whole cast could have been black. I wouldn't have cared. I even just said Steve should have been a person of color. I just said that. I just said that Steve shouldn't have been a white guy. It's like, that is the only casting in the movie that had a pre-existing character. It's like, yeah, they probably should have casted a person of color for Steve. Because I've never interpreted Steve as a white guy. So, like, I don't understand. Like, what's the alternative? You just wanted her to be white? And then, like, it would have been fine. I don't see anyone talking about the girl that was casted, so I know it's a black person issue for them. I know it's a race thing. They don't care if it's a woman. They care that it's a black woman on the cast. And it's like, come on. What do you want then? An all white cast? I mean, just show us the clan robe you keep in the closet at that point. Anyways, sorry. I'll get off of it. Here's your fun fact for this episode. So, as of the time of this coming out, Wednesday was the 23rd anniversary of 9/11, meaning that it's also been a little over 20 years since the invasion of Iraq. Just a little side note there. And in lieu of 9/11, its anniversary, there is a little building in Tulsa, Oklahoma, called the Bok Building or the BOK Building. If you've heard of this, you know what I'm about to say. This building was designed by the same guy that designed the World Trade Center in New York City, the two towers, the two twin towers. Same guy. And in almost like a prototype sort of way, he designed a building that looks almost exactly like the World Trade Center, but it's half the height and I believe half the width on both ends. So I believe you need 8 of these buildings to make one World Trade Center tower. I might be wrong about the width part. So you might just need 2 of these buildings to make one World Trade Center tower. I don't remember, but this tower, in the most eerie way possible, looks exactly like the World Trade Center building. So if you're a post 9/11 baby like me, you think to yourself sometimes, God, I never got to go to the World Trade Center before 9/11. Go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, baby. This is the BOK building in Tulsa, and it looks just like the World Trade Center. Yeah, I guess it is just half the height. I think it's the same width. So I was wrong about the width thing. I'm pretty sure. It's the same. It's half the height, though. And it was built after the World Trade Center buildings were built. So it's kind of like a little model, a little scale model. And it looks just like the towers. From the other photos I've seen, look, the bottom even looks identical, dude. From photos I've seen, the lobby looks pretty similar, too. It's really neat. So that's your fun fact. There is a building in Tulsa, Oklahoma that looks identical to the World Trade Center. Yeah, look at this. Crazy. I think it even has like a little globe outside of it, similar to the sculpture that was in the plaza between the two towers in New York. It's cool. So that's your fun fact of the week. Or of the episode, since I end up doing around 2 episodes a week anyways. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I thank you for watching, for listening, if you did that. Here's another photo of the tower being built before 1976. Neat stuff. And yeah.
All right, let's see, chat.
Damn. Check us out on streaming services like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, your fucking Samsung smart fridge, if that's even a thing you can do. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. We're also on Patreon, so go support. There's a link in the description. And I'll be back in the next episode, probably episode 85.